jumping right back into where I finished off in the last chassis video. So if you watched that one, you saw me build these things here. So we got the, what is this, passenger side rail and the driver's side rail down here. So plan for this episode is to get these things all the way welded up and then welded onto the mid rails by the end of it. These guys here are all set up ready, got everything ground down, everything is all smooth. I went through and did 3 plug welds on each joint like this with an 1/8 inch plate on the back side. So this is basically a 1/4 inch thick from about, I don't know, here to all the way down here, and then it will be when those plates go into these ones right here. So ground all the plug welds down, everything is smoothed out. Now I got a perfect bevel to lay some beads in here, and I think same thing, gonna go through, radius the edges and get everything smoothed out, looking like one piece when it's all said and done. There we have it. These things are finally complete. The last step will be to take these, put them on there. I'm so sick and tired of these things. Maybe because it's like cold as balls out right now and I'm a mess. But yeah, that was not fun whatsoever. They are smooth as can be. I just hit them with a wire wheel really quick to kind of give them that finished off look. I haven't DA'd them yet. I think once I get everything situated, I'll go ahead and DA them. But the issue with that is once you get them looking all pretty, you're obviously moving it around and moving it on a concrete floor. You know, it's going to scratch it up and hopefully not chip it, but it just doesn't look as pretty after doing all that work. In the last video, a lot of you guys commented on my cutoff wheels and flat discs, so I figured I'd show you my pretty sick collection here. Okay, I need help. On a serious note though, any abrasive companies out there that need any product testing or anything like that, I know a guy. I go through those things way quicker than I should, but I don't know. It's nice to finally see these complete after, well, spent this whole past week basically getting them dialed, making them all smooth, metal finishing them, but it seems from when I decided to restart these and scrap that back there, I don't know, it's been about maybe 5 weeks or so. So there we go, pretty much 5 weeks of work into this, it feels like. It doesn't feel like I accomplished much, but hey, I'll take it. These things are as smooth as can be. I'm very, very happy with the way those turned out. My process for this was basically just start out with a 60 grit flap disc, do that, and then move up to a 120 grit flap disc. Once I did that, I did a cross pattern, basically like you'd sand a car to get it as smooth as possible, leave no marks in the metal there. Then took the wire wheel, kind of wire wheeled the entire thing there, and then after that, went back with a 120 DA, and then went up to a 220 DA, and that's how we get to the final product of what you're seeing right now. So next step is gonna be toss these underneath the car, make sure that gap between the top of the rail and the bottom of the floor is exactly 3/8 like I need. Double, triple check all that, and I think I'm gonna leave the rails as 2 separate pieces right now. There's no point putting the bracing in between them, just for ease of storage and ease of moving it around. And then when I need to do other stuff with them, I'll put the bracing together and basically make the width of the chassis there. For those of you who haven't seen it before or forgot what it looked like, because I haven't shown this part of the car in a couple months. This is what is left of the rear rails, trunk floor, and rear seat piece. There's not much. Although this car looks kind of solid from the outside, I mean, you can see these frame rails are obviously toast, and those that have been here since pretty much the beginning have seen these clips quite a few times before. So the reason why I got this out here and I'm showing you guys that is because this is all going to be going away here really soon. In order to do that, I needed to do the old switcherooski here, flip the car around, and while I was at it, I just cleaned everything up, because from doing the rails, I made an absolute mess in here. So got all this cleaned up. We're gonna shove the car in this way. It'll be a nice little change for the first time in a while, seeing it in here different. Sometimes you need that, because I was starting to drive myself insane doing the same thing daily for a long time now, and seeing the stuff in the same setting. So flip it around, kind of a fresh start. We're gonna chop out that back, and then gonna put something back there. A ton of people are gonna question this and probably comment that this is stupid, but you gotta think, either way, if every single piece of this, rails, wheel wells, all the bracing, was going back to factory spec to restore it, all this junk would have to get cut out anyway. I mean, there's not a single good piece. I mean, besides, like, you know, a section here or there, but like all this is just destroyed. It's all rusted through. Nothing was really salvageable here, and even if you were to salvage some of this, you'd be piecing it together, not necessarily in the right spots. So it all had to get cut out, and that leaves us here with two flimsy frame rails as some structure pieces, so the quarters and what is left of this tail panel here don't fall off. I guess I never really explained the full in-depth plan, and probably within a few weeks here, maybe within the next month or so, I'll do a full video explaining the plans of where this is going, why this is happening to it, and show you guys the renders going forward so you have a better understanding of what's going to be happening here. When this is all said and done, there's not going to be much factory sheet metal left, or at least factory looking sheet metal. I think the only original 70 Charger sheet metal that's going to be done is going to be the roof structure from here up, the doors, some of the fenders. As you see, this is all pretty rough, and maybe this deck lid, but I don't know if I want to cut this deck lid up or not because it's so nice. So it's going to need everything going forward. It's all going to end up getting cut off. It's going to start to look really scary once the quarters are off, and then it's going to get a whole new tail panel. I'm doing a new column. It's going to get new outer rockers. So yeah, there's a lot to do yet, sheet metal wise. When I first got the car, I was really debating on what to do because it was such a complete car, but it was also really rough. So that's what kind of had me leaning towards going the route which I am going towards, or the original plan was just kind of, you know, get it as a running and driving as a RATTY muscle car, which I didn't necessarily want to do because between the truck and the Duster, kind of already have that, and I wanted to do something I've always wanted to do here, so that's why we're going this route, and that's why I made those down there, and that's going to be continuation throughout the rest of the chassis on this here. I still have all these parts between all of this right here, and then I got 3 bins back at home of those like giant totes just full of Charger parts that are in decent shape and honestly worth something. So when the time comes, if I could ever find a clean Charger shell, I have all those parts ready. And if I could find a clean shell, I have all the parts and pieces, literally down to the headliner clips, that I could just make a RATTY daily driver street car. And that's kind of the plan, because I'm not junking any of the good stuff. I'm not selling it because I'll probably never be able to find it all again. Or if I do, find it for the price that I have into this entire car when I originally got it. I just want to explain that because I've explained that to some other people, and there's been a lot of questions about the chassis and this stuff circulating through the comments I keep seeing pop up. So just want to get that out there. Now I get to spend about the next hour doing a bunch of measuring on this entire thing for the next thing I have to build in order to get some stuff situated and continue on the chassis here. But after I do that, I think tomorrow I'm gonna go ahead and start tearing the rest of this thing down. Just got some little trim, some glass and some mirrors left, and get this thing really to a true shell. I know for a lot of people, this right here would be a scary sight, seeing this entire car cut up, and especially this car being what it is, but I'm so excited. This is like ultimate do whatever you want, basically. It's a blank slate to create anything back here, which is pretty much any fabricator's dream, I'd say. I got a couple ideas of exactly what I want to do, and I'm sure it'll evolve over time, but just seeing this blank open space, I mean, I can pretty much do anything I want. There's no necessarily rules or stipulations. That's got me excited for what's to come with this thing. Next step, I'm just gonna brace this up a little more with just some scrap I have around. That way when I move it around, it doesn't flex a whole ton. I got pretty good amount of bracing in there right now, but rather be safe than sorry. And then the next big project I'm gonna be making, probably take me the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. So I don't know if I'm gonna have a video out in between then, but it's gonna be a big step forward on this thing. And once that is situated, I'll be able to start finally seeing pieces come together, like putting those beautiful rails on here and mocking up the rear end and getting stuff like that all situated. So be on the lookout for that. But as of right now, that's gonna end off this video. I know it's kind of all over the place, but appreciate everyone watching.